Hey everyone, welcome you all. In this video, we are going to discuss what is meant by multivibrator. So, a multivibrator is a two-state electronic device used to implement oscillators, timers, and flip-flops. So, basically, a multivibrator is two stable state device. So, which can have either one stable state or it can't be have any of the stable state. So, its output will be changing from one state to another state continuously. So if it is having a one stable state, then it is called as a stable multivibrator, while it is having stable states, then it is called as bistable multivibrator. So the basic construction includes two transistors acting as amplifying devices which are cross coupled by resistors and capacitors. So here we will be using two types of components, that is active components as well as the passive components. So the transistors are the active components which we will be using. So these are cross coupled to each other with the help of passive components, that are resistors and capacitors. So basically the multivibrators work on the Bar-Hussein criteria, that is the loop gain of the control system should be slightly greater than the unity so that the oscillations will be created. So if the loop gain is less than unity, then the decaying of the circuit happens and no oscillations will be created. But if the loop gain is greater than, very much greater than unity, then at that time the circuit will get overdriven and the output is not suitable for use. So it should be only slightly less than unity in order to get the sustained oscillations. Okay, so that is first criteria, and the second criteria is the output of the both the transistors. So we will be using two transistor in case of any of the multivibrators, either it is a stable, monostable, or bistable. So output of each transistor should be 180 degree out of phase with respect to it. So which indicates only one of it will be active at a time or on at a time. So that we will be see in our further discussion. So at this instant, you just understand that multivibrator is a important component which has got either one or two stable states, and it is mainly used in oscillators, flip-flops, and other electronic circuits. Okay, so now coming to the classification of multivibrators. So it has got three types in it. So the first one is a stable multivibrator, that is this one, and then second comes monostable multivibrator, and the third one is bistable multivibrator. So let us see what is mean by these individual multivibrators. So first, a stable. So this circuit is not suitable in any state, so stable in any state. So this circuit has got no stable state. Okay, so it is, its output will be always changing, so it will be something like this. So it is always changing output, so it is called as a stable multivibrator. And the second one is monostable multivibrator. In this, one state is stable whereas other will be unstable. So it has got one as the stable state and other as the unstable or transient. So here the basic meaning of the transient is changing. So here we will be having one state as stable. So we require a pulse to maintain at a stable state, and we don't require any other external pulse to maintain the monostable multivibrator at a unstable state. So this has got two stable states. Okay, so here the triggering pulse does the work of changing the state. So how does the change of this multivibrator changes? So it is done with the help of triggering pulse. So it will change the output of the multivibrator, so either high to low or low to high. So high is the one stable state and low is the other stable state. So depending on the pulse or trigger which we will be applying, the output is going to change. Okay, so the last one is bistable multivibrator. So the bistable indicates two, so it has got two stable states. Okay, so this has got no stable state and it has got one. So it has got zero stable state, it has got one stable state, and this has got two stable states. So this sequence you should remember. Then the bistable, in this the circuit is stable in both the states, that is its state can be changed by triggering the pulse. So here the circuit is stable in both the state means it is stable in high state as well as low state. So it can remain in the high state as well as the low state. So this is the brief classification of multivibrators, so depending on the states which will be multivibrator. So in our previous videos we have discussed what is meant by multivibrator, classification of the multivibrator with a stable multivibrator and monostable multivibrator. So now we will see what is meant by bistable multivibrator. So the name bistable multivibrator came from the fact that it has got two stable states. So one is high and another is low. So in case of a stable multivibrator, it has got zero stable states. So it is not stable in any of the states. And in case of monostable multivibrator, it is having one stable state, that is low. Low is the stable state for monostable multivibrator. So in case of bistable multivibrator we have got two stable states, so that's why the name came bi, so it indicates two stable states. All right, so this multivibrator has got two stable states, either high or low. So the triggering pulse is required to change the state of this multivibrator. So currently if you are in the low state, then if you want to go to the high state, then you need to give the triggering pulse for this circuit. That means after applying the triggering pulse only we are going to get the another state. So if you are currently in low, then we will be moving to the high, or else if you are in the high state itself, then we will be moving to the low state. So we require two triggers here, that is to move to low to high and then from high to low. So now coming to the circuit diagram, so here it is having two transistors. So this is Q1 and this is Q2. Okay, so the pulse which is applied for the first is input pulse here. So that is pulse which is applied through the capacitor, and it is applied to the base of the transistor Q1. And a second pulse is also applied to the base of the transistor Q2. Okay, so these are the where the negative voltage is applied to the bases of the both the transistors here. All right, so here is the VCC, then this is the collector resistance for transistor Q2 and this is for transistor Q1, and this is the circuit which will be maintaining the time period. So the time period, that is this time period, will be decided by these two resistances. Okay, so that is capacitor and resistor will form the capacitance time constant, that is time constant tau, which is the multiplication of R1 and C1. Okay, so if you want to increase the time period of this pulse or output, we have to increase either the resistance or capacitance. So this will be decided by the time constant, what will be the time period of the pulse. Okay, so similarly for Q1 we have got C2 and R2. Okay, so now how it will operate, let us see. So initially assume that Q2 is on, Q2 is off. Okay, because when, so that the output voltage will be here. So when this is not conducting, the voltage drop at this point will be equal to VCC. Okay, so this is not conducting and this one is conducting here. So what will be happening is the output is high here. So suppose this is the axis, then the output will be high. Then this is open circuit still. And when you apply a pulse here, so due to this pulse, the voltage at this point will increase above the cutoff voltage, that will be 0.74 transistors, and the transistor will be moving from cutoff region to the saturation region, where the maximum amount of current will be flowing. So this will now become the short circuit, and when it becomes short circuit, the current has find the path and it will flow like this to the ground. So at this point voltage drop will go to the zero now. So this voltage drop at the output will go to zero. So the output will be moving to zero. So it will continue up to the time period T decided by these two resistance C1 and R1. Okay, so I have got the lower state now. But if I want to again go to the high state, that is if I want to go to the high state again, what I have to do is apply a pulse on the transistor Q1. So until now the transistor Q1 was not conducting. So when we apply a pulse again, the transistor Q1 gets short circuited here. So the voltage at this point will going to be decreased, and when this point voltage at this point is going to decrease, then this capacitor will discharge through this path. Okay, so this capacitor is discharging through Q1 means the voltage, because the capacitor other end is connected to the base of the transistor Q2, here the voltage will fall below the 0.7 volt. So when the voltage at this point falls below 0.7 volt, at that moment it was earlier conducting, or it was in saturation region, then again it will be moving in the cutoff region, so it will become open circuit here. That means it is switched off. So when it becomes switched off, at that time again the voltage at this point will become VCC, because the current has got no path to flow. So the voltage drop at this point will be equal to the voltage drop at that is the supply voltage. So we will be getting output as high again. Okay, so this is the high, and it will be again continuing at a time period t divided by C1 and R1, because the C1, which is the capacitor involved in the discharging. Okay, so this is how, if you want again to decrease the pulse, then we need to again apply a pulse to the Q2, then at that moment it will start again conducting, then the output will go to 0 again. So like this we can get the high and low pulses, and these are stable states here, so they are not returning to their original that is position immediately. Okay, so you have to apply a trigger to go to low to high transition, or if you want to make a high to low transition also, you need to apply a trigger. So this is how bistable multivibrator works, and I hope you understood the working. Okay, so here is the graph which shows the working. So this is a trigger, and initially Q1 is on and Q2 is off. So this is the output voltage which we need to see. Okay, so this is the V0 point here, and as I said, when initially Q1 is on and Q2 is off, the output will be high here, and when you apply a trigger, the output will be low until we apply a next trigger. So it is low until time period t here. Okay, so in until time period t it will be low, and when you apply another pulse, then it will go to the high transition, so it is moving from low to higher due to this pulse. And if you want to again make the transition low high to low, then you need to again apply a pulse here. So if you want again low to high, then you need to again apply the pulse. So like this, depending on the applied pulse, the output will be changing. So if you want to make the high to low or low to high transitions, you need two pulses. So that is for Q1 and for Q2. And again here will be, it will be alternating. So Q1 is on, Q2 is off. Q1 is off, Q2 is on. So like this it will be changing. So this is trigger 1 for transistor Q1, and this is trigger 2 for transistor Q2, and this is the output, and this is the voltage which is present on the transistor Q1 at this point. Here is the capacitance and resistor as I showed earlier. So this is the VCC point. Okay, so this is the voltage VC1 here. Alright, so moving ahead in our session, we have got some advantages and disadvantages. Let us see quickly. So the advantages are like this. The first advantage is that stores the previous output unless disturbed. So unless and until you disturb the system or circuit, it will be storing the previous state. That means it will be continuing in its previous state. So it will not change until and unless you apply some external input to the circuit. So that's the first advantage we can say, because in case of astable and monostable multivibrators, the output was changing continuously whether you apply trigger or not. So once it is changed state, then it will be returning to its original state after the time period t. And the second advantage is that the circuit design is simple. So it is simple to design, as the complexity of this circuit is less as compared to previous multivibrators. Okay, so it has got two tank circuits, that is resistance and capacitance in that parallel position, and two triggers are needed. And the third advantage is that the time period of pulse can be easily adjusted by time constant factor tau. So the time period, as I said earlier also, it can be easily adjusted by the resistance and capacitance value. So basically it is the multiplication of resistance and capacitance. So by increasing resistance, or either resistance or either capacitance, we can increase the time constant. So we can change the time period of the pulse according to our convenience or applications. Okay, so these are the some of advantages which we can list. And now coming to the disadvantages. So the first disadvantage is that two kinds of triggers are required. So as I showed you, there are two types of triggers which are required. So one is applied to the transistor Q1 and one is applied to the Q2. So in case of stable, there is no trigger required, and in case of monostable, only one trigger is required. So but in case of bistable, we need two triggers. So that's an advantage you can say. And the second one is, as the system consists of more components, cost increases. So as you can observe here, the number of components required in this circuit are more. So obviously it will be requiring more amount or more price. Okay, so let us go to the applications. So the first application used in pulse generator, so that is function generators. So we can use this in the function generator to produce the different types of functions, that is sine, cosine, triangular, square, or you can say anything. All right, so second application is, it is used in counter. So what is counter? A counter is a electronic circuit which counts from, which basically counts the number. So that is 1 to 10 or 10 to 1. So if it is up counter, then it will be going from lower to higher, and if it is down counter, then it will be coming from higher to lower, like 30 to 10 or 10 to 30. So it is not fixed that it is 0 to 10 or 0 to 20. So depending on our applications, we can create any type of counter. So it will be just counting the numbers. So that is counter, and there we can use the bistable multivibrator. Okay, and the last application is, it is mainly used in flip-flop designs. So the other name for flip-flop is bistable multivibrator. So as we know, the flip-flop is nothing but a device which can have either a low or a high. So it has got low or high as this states. So it is nothing but bistable multivibrator itself. So it is named as a flip-flop because it is storing 1 or 0 inside it. Okay, so either it can store 1 at a time or it can store 0 at a time. So that is nothing but it is having a 1 as its stable state at a time or 0 as its stable state at a time. So it is basically a bistable multivibrator itself. So apart from this, we can think of creating the memory of a computer. There we require flip-flops, so hence we will be requiring bistable multivibrators and different kinds of RAMs and ROMs. When we designing, we need to use the bistable multivibrators there. So it has got lot of applications. I have listed only few, so we can go deeper by googling it. So I hope you like this video. Please guys, if you are new to the channel, subscribe the channel, and if you have not hit the bell icon, then please guys hit the bell icon. And if you found the content useful, press the like button. Thank you. Thanks for watching.